Don't know if I'm ready for this one. What's poppin', Shop Squad? Slate D Biggs here from AnimeMCS, here to talk with you all about Kingdom Chapter 623, To Serve as an Example. Today we are getting the Houken flashback chapter. This pretty much cements his death in the Kingdom series, which I am happy for, but having more context to him is really nice. I think for Kingdom at this point, he isn't a good character because he's kind of wrote to be one-track antagonist. And for his story arc, I think that's fine. He brings Shin and a lot of our favorite characters in Kingdom a lot of progression through loss. Basically, Houken has transcended humanity to become a Bushin, to enhance society as a whole. I guess maybe showing them what true martial might is. I think its purpose is to enhance certain people so that they can continue the path of martial might and unify China and unify the lands. Which, spoiler alert, even when they manage to make all of China unified, that doesn't last long. We know that pretty well. So this flashback is jumping back and forth between Riboku talking to some of his high officers and Kaine while looking on Houken and Shin battling. Riboku basically lays out how he met Houken 19 years ago. Riboku, I don't know if he was a general at this point, what his position was in the military, but he claims that he basically caused his friends, his family, everything in his life to die in warfare. And he thinks that he let it happen, and it's all his fault. He's losing battles constantly. He's running into the woods, holding in his entrails, being pursued by people. And he comes upon a wild Houken. Wild Houken has appeared out of the bushes, holding a friggin' tiger's head. Houken tells him that anything that lies within my path will die by my blade. And he puts his glaive up to Riboku's throat.
No! What are you waiting for? Do it!
Riboku's ready for it all to end. He wants the suffering to be gone. He's done with it. He's done with life. He fully expects Houken to just lay waste to him. This inhuman being that just appeared out of nowhere in the woods, looking like a bloody tampon. Houken tells him that he can hear the voices of the earth. He speaks to the damn trees. He tells Riboku that he was led to him because Riboku is meant to guide him on his path. As far as destiny goes, with Riboku and Houken meeting, I feel like it was a setup for later in the future whenever they're fighting against Shin, and Houken's his insanity and his killing prowess is what pushes a lot of our protagonists in our country of Chin to become the stronger men that they are today. Through loss and suffering, it will push them to become more and more powerful and influential generals, and they will unify China. That is ultimately kind of the setup for Houken as a character, as he's a catalyst for people like Shin to grow. Also, in this past, Riboku details how he used to just throw himself into warfare. Pretty similar to how our boy Shin does, but Shin is actually able to handle himself pretty well on the battlefield. And I believe that Riboku is as well. He just doesn't have to get out on the battlefield and do as much groundwork. So, Houken claims to be a Bushin, but he is truly a member of a group of people called the Path Seekers. 5 whole centuries ago, basically, they left humanity, so they were sick of the wars, they were sick of the dumb fighting, all of the senseless bloodshed and bullshit. they left, and they've basically made it their goals to further themselves and transcend humanity, and they've been secluded mainly from society for these hundreds of years. Each path seeker has their own path, their own way. Some of them apparently jump off cliffs because it's their ultimate path to fly. How'd that work out for you? They believe that one person who has ascended from humanity overall will be able to raise us up. Them being better will make the rest of us better. Which I can say from a modern standpoint, that's most certainly true. We get a couple of intellectuals, a couple of scientists that invent things, other people run off of it, the technology continues to grow and further, and we end up in this overly convenient age that we live in. So apparently Houken isn't a completely brain-dead idiot, just a brute, a musclehead, but I still can't make much sense of why he thinks the way he does or what he's doing, but it makes sense to him, and that's all that matters. Basically, this chapter just enforces everybody's joke about how Houken is just there to save Riboku, and it really undermines Riboku as an antagonist to always have Houken there, Houken part of the plan. He's not so scary on his own. The same could be said about Osen, though. It's the parts of Osen's army that make up why he is so terrifying as a general. Houken and Riboku are just part of each other. And Houken, yes, pretty much confirmed, I think he's going to be losing his life in this arc. And we'll be able to move on from this craziness. I don't even really want to discuss what seems like it could have been some Naruto Six Paths bullshit where Houken put his hand over Riboku's face, he passed out, he wakes up the next morning, recover enough to actually be able to walk and come across the mountain of bodies lying all around the forest from the enemies that were pursuing him. And was Houken nowhere to be found at that point? And he just appears out of nowhere to talk to Riboku? I don't get it. I mean, Houken is a great antagonist, and he definitely was at the beginning of the story, more so than he is now. I just feel like he's played out, and it is his time to go. And it's really looking like that's the way Hara feels about Houken as well. I think that's how a lot of us are feeling. There's more horizons, there's more brutal, terrifying characters that can be introduced in every country, even Wei, when it feels like we've already been all up and down Wei and fought everybody that was really worth fighting. But who knows? I guess we'll see. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. I love y'all. Let's chat about Kingdom in the comments, like the video, and share it with your friends. If you got people you know that love Kingdom and just like Kingdom content and talking about it, I will greatly fill that void. Also, I feel like for these dang Kingdom videos, I need to get a glaive. That would be sick. I like how during this whole chapter, everyone listening to Riboku is just flabbergasted and they can't even comprehend really what he's saying. Also, what is up with everyone crying like a single tear out of their left eye? Does that have some kind of significance as far as like Japanese or Chinese mythology? What is the semblance of it? I haven't taken the time to like look it up or think about it. I pretty much just read the chapter maybe 10 minutes ago. Now, that is all I got for this video. I hope y'all liked it. Comment, subscribe, share it. Let's have a good time together talking about Kingdom, y'all. This has been Slate D Biggs. Peace out.